trees in the backwoods night. Red lights cutting through the pine in flight. Bigfoot stomping with his youngling beard. Whispers of tales that ain't too clear. UFOs buzzing solo through the haze. Howling banshees set the forest ablaze. Jersey devil howls drink rays to the sky. Drunken cryptids party until the morning's night. Yeah. It's showtime, running wild in the moonlight. Stars burn down, watch the freaks all take flight.
To good times.
Raise your glasses to the mysteries divine. It's showtime, let the cryptids realign.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. I do have to give a shout out again because I love him. I love him. I love him. Thank you, Dylan, for all the hard work you've done for the logo and the website. Y'all need to go check out blademedia.com. BLAYED media.com. And make sure you tell them that I sent you. Also, you guys, I give a shout to the team behind me. I appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. I appreciate the support. I wouldn't be here where I'm at today without you guys. I mean, we won an award last year. It's an award-winning podcast. This is pretty awesome. So I appreciate you guys. And, of course, to the listeners, you guys, I appreciate. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for liking and sharing. Thank you for the comments. I see it. It means a lot to me. Please keep liking. Please keep sharing. You know, it's there. We do have a Buy Me a Coffee set up. We do have a Patreon set up. If any of that works for you, great. But the most important thing you can donate is your time. And I do appreciate you doing that by listening to the show. So thank you very much for doing that, you guys. But I do have a couple announcements to make. I am going to be at in Ada, Ohio on October 4th for the Bigfoot Jamboree 2. That's right. I'm going to be one of the guest speakers this year. I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty honored that our buddies over there at Cryptids of the Corn have invited me to come up. So make sure you go to cryptidscorn.com. The tickets are available. They do have a VIP night. You get a chance to hang out and drink and eat with us the Friday night before the fest. So check it out. The tickets are available over at cryptidscorn.com. And I will be at the Little Rock Paranormal Expo at the end of October. I always get the date screwed up. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see the dates pop up because time is great. I believe the 26th and it's 26th and 27th because last year was the 25th. So 26th and 27th this year. We'll be there. Little Rock will have a table set up. Come by, hang out with us. That night of the 26th, Saturday night at Old Bart's. Bart has said that you come in with a band or anything showing that you were at the expo, you are going to get a discount. So we will be doing an after party there that Saturday night. Come hang out with us. It's a great place, good times, good food. You got to try the Drunken Cryptid cheeseburger. And then, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, but if you guys have had an encounter and you do want to come on and talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Make sure you follow me on all your social media platforms. And, yeah, keep liking and sharing the show. But tonight, just got done finishing, and this is the cool thing about social media and being able to do what we do. You get a chance to meet like-minded people all over the country and all over the world, and it's really neat to how it kind of ties the web is all tied us all in together. So these guys saw a post somehow about Drunken Cryptids on Facebook and reached out. And I immediately reached out, and we just finished recording. Hopefully it was a good episode for them. You definitely want to check it out on their show. We'll get into that in a second. But I go into the aha details. I go into some of the investigations that we've been going through here. Some findings, some ideas, and it's kind of fun for me to be able to go on somebody else's show and share and me talk a lot more and get my opinion and some of my thoughts and theories out there versus on here. You know, on here, this is where I want, you guys to come on, you guys to tell me, and then we'll have some discussions and such. So it was a lot of fun. They were very cordial and friendly to me. They only yelled at me twice. So, and I'm kidding on that one. But I do have tonight, I have Keegan and Sam coming on from, is it Culz or Culz?
It's Culz.
That you throws me off. I'm so sorry. Culz Paranormal Studios, and they're coming out of one of my favorite states in the union. No, not Utah, but pretty close. So, real quick. So, Keegan and Sam, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing great. Really excited to be here on such a fun show. And yeah, thank you for the invite. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, no, pleasure's all mine. I had a great time on your show. So, I'm glad y'all, agreed to come on mine.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be on as well. It's always like these types of topics along with history, of course, but yeah, I'm happy to be here as well.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I'm starting to get your voice. I didn't hear you talk too much earlier, but now I'm starting to be able to pick your voice out a little bit. You got a good voice, Sam. You should use it more.
Thank you.
Yeah, that Sam, you got to use it.
You got to use it more. Well, it's like Jacob. When Jacob would co-host for me, he would be sitting there quiet, and I'd be like throwing stuff at him, and he goes, "I'm listening,"
Right? No, I tend to like to listen a lot more and like engage where I can, but a lot of the times the things I think about get brought up, and it's just like, well, they kind of got to the questions that I wanted.
Well, that's when you're having a good show. I'll have questions. I'll write questions down when people are, they're going through their encounter, and there's lots of, if anyone's go through my notes, so see, I draw a line through it because they just answered it. You know what I mean? So there's lots of lines going through, like, okay, hold on, he said about the door, and then he'll be talking. So yeah, then the door. I mean, there we go. Answered that for me. So what got you guys wanting to start podcasting?
Ooh, I mean, I think it's kind of similar to yours as far as like when we started was in, I think 2020 when we seriously started thinking about doing podcasts. We had done a couple interviews, I want to say 2 or 3 before we really got into it, and that was with Max Hawthorne and like Steve Alton. So like authors, but kind of like sci-fi type of deal, paleontological type of deal. And then, world events happen and couldn't really go out anywhere. So we're like, well, we might as well keep filming and keep doing what we like. And that's when we started just reaching out to people and haven't stopped since.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys have a great show. Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I like the aspect of like hearing other people's like stories and seeing different perspectives of things. Cause like in the paranormal like field, when we do investigations, you can't just look at it through a tunnel. You have to be able to go outside of that tunnel, outside of boxes, and see things in very different ways. And other people can see and experience things that you normally wouldn't see in your like perspective or in your tunnel vision.
I agree 100%. And the more I do this, like I was talking to you guys earlier on your show, the more I do this, the more my opinion and theories change. And it's based upon what other people are, telling me. Well, I saw something do this. And now I've got, so this person's telling me is doing this. And then I have another person somewhere else tell me a really similar story. So, okay, now we got, you know what I mean? So now we start adding, 2 and 2 starts equaling up 4. And if we're not, we're already in, excuse me, a very unique field as it is, cryptids and paranormal. There is no groundwork really out there. There's nobody sat down and talked to a ghost what it is. I mean, we don't have Bigfoot, as Wes likes to say on Sunset Chronicles, in the garage, so we can look at it. The government might, but we don't. So we have, our theories have to be fluid. We have to be able to change. And as new evidence comes out, we have to be able to, accept new evidence. Like I don't believe that every footage out there is fake. But it seems like, if somebody posts a video, they see something moving in the woods, the first thing is everybody's, oh, it's fake. That's not real. So, but you're right. I'm with you on that one, Sam. I love hearing people's encounters.
Yeah, and kind of going off what you said, I have always been into like paleontology and stuff like that. And so a big thing about that is it's always evolving as we learn. And that's kind of how I view this field, though we don't have like experts per se, because, yeah, like you said, we don't know how to like conjure a ghost every time. We don't go find a UFO every time, but it's just about going out and trying to learn something more. And, maybe 100 years from now, people will look back and be like, wow, they were really off, or they were right on. We don't know yet.
Well, if they listen to my show, they go, man, that guy was nuts. He was not even close. Just take all his stuff and throw it away. I mean, what's funny, have you ever had AI, like do an AI generation of you, like a description?
I have not.
I have not either, no.
Oh, we did it last year by accident. Somehow it popped up and it was like, Matthew Orton is a famous author. I was like, what? Author about cryptids and paranormal, and it's like however, some schools do not take his stuff as I was like, it's valid. I was like, are you what? When did I write a book? So AI thinks I'm an author sometimes.
Either that or it knows what's going to happen in the future. So
Right? It's a premonition.
It's the new Ghost in the Machine. Sorry, old reference there.
Hey, it's all good here.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I mean, I'm good going first. What do you want to hear first, I guess?
Hey, this is your show, partner. You tell me whatever it is you want to tell me.
I don't know. If you want to hear a story, we'll start with one that we have at least footage of, and then we can work maybe some of the history stuff and what got us going. But there was a encounter that we had, and this was 2008, so it was about the first year we really got into ghost hunting. And we're out in Memmon Ridge here in Colorado in like a foot of snow in February. I don't know why, but we were out there investigating, and we get to this one point, and on the camera, because my uncle's behind me, you see my hand reach out, and I'm like, what is your name? And then up on the hill, you like see something kind of like manifest or come out of the darkness. I don't know. And it comes down.
Let me
like,
pause you real
turns.
quick. So what inspired you to go to this area?
So we.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was like, why? I mean, something had to happen to make you want to go there.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had experiences, my family, since like the 40s. We've had documentation of stuff going on. And so it's not like unusual for me at all. But one night, it was my mom, my dad, my uncle was there, my brother, some of my mom's friends, and we were talking ghosts and stuff. And so we wanted to go some haunted locations in Castle Rock, and there's not too many that are like publicized, but that is one of them. So that is why we were there. The story behind it, I think, is fake or just urban legend, but definitely stuff there,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely stuff there. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny because like it's the first like big evidence we have, but Sam can definitely get into it because it was like his first big experience with us when he joined a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the thing like manifests, it comes down, it like turns towards my hand, and of course we don't know this. Like I didn't see any of this until we went home and watched, and of course some of the people are like, oh my goodness, like freaking out and stuff. But when you listen to EVP at the same time, you hear Lawrence. And so I was like, I mean, that's great evidence. And I don't think we've topped it. And we've been doing it since 2008. We have some that are, I guess, kind of close. But to me, that's still the best one because we saw it, we heard it. And then a little bit later, because we were just starting out, my mom was looking for like a suitcase or a briefcase to put our equipment in. And she found a really nice looking one at the first store. So she bought it. She brought it home. She was cleaning it. And when she was going through the pockets, she pulled out a certificate, and the name on it was Lawrence. So wild stuff all around.
That's kind of cool. I was going to ask you, I mean, if you discovered the name of Lawrence, and so on the receipt it said Lawrence?
It was I'd have to check. It's either a birth certificate or a death certificate.
Wow.
But it's in the briefcase. And it's still in there. I have not taken it out because I'm like, it was there when I bought it, and it's going to stay there. Maybe it's a good luck charm or something.
Well, so with the area being, like you said, possibly urban legend, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm assuming it's been going on for a long time. A lot of kids like to go, ooh, urban legend, there's a bridge over here. Let's try and find there's always like a wailing lady at a bridge in every state, it seems like, in every town, it seems like. So I'm wondering, as you said too, you think it was all fake, but there's activity there. So what if for years people going there actually manifested this?
I mean, it's definitely possible. So I guess I can go into the urban legend is a guy was going up to the woods with kids, obviously probably not doing good things. And one day they went up there and burned to death, all of them, the whole forest. We haven't found any records. And luckily in Castle Rock, we're pretty good with record keeping. So given the time frame, I think we would have found something. But where it is located is on a old piece of property. The Memon family used to live there, and they had a couple deaths of kids there. And so, in my opinion, that's more where the haunting began. But as Sam can say, kids will be kids, and people were doing things up there with Ouija boards and different things they shouldn't have been. And I will say the feeling up there has been different since. So,
yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I know that a lot of people will try and do that when they're, the Ouija board. Like I tell everybody this: don't do it, because it's not your dead grandma about to share her secret cookie recipe with you.
Yeah, and if you ever get called on an investigation and they were having weird experiences, don't go dig it up and put it in your car to take it away from. I mean, maybe do that, but immediately then take it out of your car, or else it might break, because that's what happened to my car.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Well,
So that whole thing, like, we got called in by a mom whose kids had done the Ouija board, and apparently they've been doing it for a while. And so we talked with them, because we always like to kind of screen the people, just make sure everything's like on the up and up. And they definitely seem legitimate. Like, they seem scared, and at the same time they didn't want to be on camera because the kids were in like sports, and they had like, I guess, again, it was when it happened, kind of stigmatized and stuff. And so I was like, okay, we'll go up there and we'll see. And the kids took us right where they were doing it, and we found it. They had cut it up and buried it, so we unburied it. We had some holy water and whatever, and did stuff over there. And I put it in my car because I was like, well, these kids were like being really weird and like not remembering where they were going, and they'd end up in the woods. So I was like, I'm just going to take it away, so that they don't keep coming back to it, hopefully. And I had it in my car, and then like everything died. Everything, like transmission, everything. And I ended up having to get a new car. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't recommend it.
No. One, you're braver than me for handling the Ouija board and putting it in your vehicle. I don't think I could have done that. So kudos to you, brother. I'm not gonna lie, there's no way I could have done that.
Yeah. No, it was just more of trying to make sure the kids didn't keep doing it, because they were like just seemed in a bad mental state. And I was like, no, we can't be having that. And if anything, even if it was all in their mind or whatever, which I didn't think it was, just removing that could have helped them. And so that's why I did it. And as Sam can say, that area of the woods is weird. I mean, Sam, do you want to kind of talk about that experience?
Yeah, I'll do my first one when I joined their group, and then I'll do the second one after the Ouija experience as well. So my first one was joining them. It was another snowy night, or kind of after a snow where it was kind of melting. And I was kind of out in front leading, just like walking down the trail that was there. I think Keegan was behind me and Josh was behind him, if I remember correctly. But we were just like walking down the trail, and then all of a sudden we just like hear this like rush towards us, like something's running at us. I heard it behind me. Keegan heard it behind him. It was like in front of Josh, and like the leaves were moving on one side of us, and like the brush going through the brush, like something was coming through the brush, and like we just heard it like kind of pass in between Keegan and Josh. And when we looked, like we didn't see anything go through there, but we saw like all the like the slight branches and leaves just moving in that specific spot, but there was nothing visible there. And we thought it might have been a wild cat because we do have mountain lions up here, but like there was nothing.
Yeah, possibly the most scared I've been on an investigation, because up there, it's kind of one of the things you'll hear, like movement, because it is outdoors. We have coyotes and cougars and bears. But we would move and you'd hear it move, and then we'd stop and it would stop. And I was like, all right, so just be on alert, because it's kind of how cats hunt, you know. And yeah, when it came down, like I remember jumping back and I was like, crap, here we go. I'm going to be attacked by a mountain lion, and nothing came out.
That is scary. I mean, mountain lions are, I mean, that was my first thought. I was thinking mountain lion, but no.
I mean, it was definitely my first thought. Like, I was just like, oh, crap, here we go. Definitely the most scared I've ever been on an investigation. Just because, again, I thought it was a mountain lion about to attack us.
Isn't it kind of funny how we're more afraid? We're more afraid of the real versus the normal versus the paranormal when we go on these things.
Oh yeah.
You know, like we go armed, and it's not against Sasquatch; it's against, you know, the local. I mean, the normal wildlife versus the paranormal wildlife.
Right. Yeah, it's like this. I don't know, like blinder. Not even. I don't want to say that, but like, there's just a mental aspect where you're like, okay, if I don't let it hurt me, in the paranormal, it won't. But like, then with a mountain lion, like, if it wants to, it could. Like, they're big, they're powerful, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They are, and they're scary too. I mean, they're gorgeous, but I don't want to be looking at one in the woods. Actually,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
from a
looking at it.
distance.
One chasing me is a different story.
Yeah.
Right.
It chasing something else, an animal, cool. It chasing me about to bite me, not the experience I was going for.
We used to go to the Wind Rivers up in Wyoming as a kid. My real dad would go up there for about 7 to 10 days, horseback riding and camping. And the only time that I've ever seen we got nervous, we had moved campsites and we were coming to the new one, and we're on horseback. And at eye level of us on horseback were claw marks from, you know, a grizzly bear marking the trees. And we rode an extra hour to make sure that we weren't in that area. And I just remember, you know, I'm in high school and looking at these claw marks that are eye level and picturing how big that animal has to be.
Yeah. And grizzly bears, I mean, those are some big animals. We don't have, I guess, extant, though there's like the ghost grizzlies down in the San Juans, because they're most likely down there. The farmers say they see them all the time, so I don't see why they wouldn't know what they were looking at. But yeah, my buddy Brendan lived in Montana for quite a bit, and he'd go on hikes all the time. And he was just like, didn't even think about it. I was like, Brendan, how do you not think about that? Like, they're giant animals. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, my first thought when I go out on my investigations is the local normal versus the paranormal, and the cryptid is like in the back of my mind. So, but you know, I a lot of times, you know, I won't carry. I'll have, you know, some other members of the team will carry, just be on the safe side. But other than that, no, yeah, because I figure if I'm going to get eaten, I'd rather get eaten out on an investigation and make a cool story for somebody, you know?
Right. Hey, Sam, if it ever happens, just film it, okay?
Yeah, you tell me that every time.
You'll be famous. So All right, because when we were talking on your show, you guys were telling me you guys go down to Roswell all the time. You guys go, and so I mean, what's inspired you guys to want to go do Roswell?
So Roswell, I mean, obviously it's a huge thing with the UFO stuff. I mean, it's I mean, not where it started, but I mean, it kind of is, like, with the Roswell stuff. And we were doing some Billy the Kid stuff down in Fort Sumner anyway. So we're like, yeah, it's another hour. We'll go do the Billy stuff and then stay the night in Roswell, which was cool. We couldn't, unfortunately, do a ton there at that time because it was during the pandemic and everything. So everything was pretty much shut down. But, you know, it's still cool to be there and walk around. And that's when we found out that they do the UFO festival. And we've been going since 22, right, Sam? I think every year since 22 now.
Yes. No, I thought it was 21.
No, because it was 20 and then we skipped a year.
That's right. Yeah, so yeah, it was 22.
But why were you interested in Roswell? Because you're more the UFO guy of the group.
Yeah, I am the more UFO enthusiast. I was interested in the festival mainly because I've had two, I wouldn't say official sightings, but two weird things that I've seen in the sky that didn't make sense to me.
Well, what would you call an official sighting?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just saw two weird objects in the sky at two different times. One was like out back on my parents' property. I was like on the swing set, and there was just like this silver object in the sky over what is Crystal Valley now. It's what is a larger Crystal Valley now, but there was just like this silver object that was just sitting there, just like not moving. I was just like on the swing set, and then I stopped because then I was just like, is this moving or is this not moving? And I saw that it was not moving. And I watched it for a good, what I assume was 10 to 15 minutes. But I went inside to go get binoculars to look at it closer. And when I came back out, it was just gone. So I don't know what that one was.
Well, technically, it does count as a UFO.
True. So,
Unidentified and flying, Sam. So.
yeah. No, yeah. But the other one, which is the more bizarre one than that, was I was up in Keystone. We were up there because my buddy at the time was like doing DJing and was like throwing this like little campfire party up in like the mountains up there. And he had a sighting earlier that day where he saw something like some lights come through the clouds and then just go back up to it or go up into the clouds. But this was kind of after nighttime, like it was pretty dark. And I was talking with one of the gentlemen up there, and we just see these like six perfect circle, like kind of white, but like with a mix of blue in there. And it was just like right above the tree line across the valley onto the other mountains across from where we were. And they appeared to be rotating, but they were just like perfect circles. I wear glasses, and with glasses, if anyone knows how glasses work or shades, like usually lights have those like reflecting beams off of them. These lights had none of that. Like cars driving by, I would see that, or like reflection lights on either side. These ones were just like perfect circles, sitting there rotating, kind of like glowing. Almost looked like this like bluish electricity going through it is the best way to explain how like the blue lights worked. It was just like these blue lines that would just like kind of move in and out. But we watched that for a good long while. keep in mind my phone was in my pocket. I wish I would have pulled out and recorded, but at the time it was not a thought in my mind. But then we just watched them just vanish. And me and him were just still sitting there just like, you saw that, right? Because I saw that.
Yeah, that's my favorite line when I'm out there. I'm like, we all heard that, right? Or we all saw that, right?
But the weird part is like, we were still watching there. We were just sitting there like watching it, just like, okay, that was odd. And then there's just like in the forest itself, we just see this orange like flash almost. And the kind of way to explain it is if like you see a fire off in like the woods, there was just like this orange like flash. And then like a couple minutes later, like these car lights turn on and start driving away. And we were just like, interesting.
So there might have been somebody sitting there watching you guys, watching it.
Either that or we watched like an abduction essentially.
Oh.
Like we either watched an abduction because like they were trying to they left that area, and this was like after the orange flash. Like they sat there for a little while and then they started to drive away, and I don't know. I was just like, I don't know how to take that sighting because the lights are very weird with the fact that they don't like reflect in my glasses like everything else does with lights.
Yeah, I wear glasses, so yeah, when you were talking about that, I know exactly, you know what I mean? Everything. And then with the phone in your pocket, I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of that too. When I'm having something happen, the last thing I'm thinking of was pulling my phone out.
Right.
So that's why I've never asked people that. Did you take a picture? Because I didn't. So I'm not going to, you know what I mean? And I tell people
that a little bit.
And I tell people who get pictures of it, like, rock on, dude, because I did not think of it. So I'm glad somebody did, because I did not. So do you think that you did see an abduction, maybe?
I'm thinking so, because like the fact that it disappeared, there was like a weird orange flash. Like maybe it went into like a cloaking mode, and so it was still technically there. Like it saw that they were being seen and didn't think that they were, maybe, or they wanted to be seen but then went away. I don't really know because I don't know more. But all I know is I saw this. There was a weird orange flash, and then like I don't even know like actual time. It like felt like 5 minutes later, the car lights turned on and they sat there for like, I want to say like a couple minutes maybe, then started to drive away. But another weird experience with this sighting is I had to work the next day. So I left a little bit earlier while the rest of them were still like kicking it out there. And on my way home, there was like a weird sensation when I felt something like that was like tighten around my head, just like knock loose a little bit. And I don't know I don't know how to really explain that one, but it felt like chains were breaking on a hold on my mind or something.
Maybe you were abducted.
I mean, it's very possible.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a smartass. I mean, but you describing that, I mean, there's lots of accounts of abductees with weird time. You know, a lot of people wanted to say, well, were there any missing time? You don't necessarily have to have missing time. It doesn't have to be that quick. I mean, that long. And maybe what you experienced, you know what I mean? Maybe two things. Either A, you were abducted and they kind of like, you know, did something to you. And I don't mean it in that way like everybody takes it. But I mean, you know, they did something, or just the encounter itself and what you were witnessing took place. Maybe you caught a stray beam or a little after effect, you know what I mean? A side effect or something that you weren't supposed to catch, if that makes sense. So you might have been almost like a casual, you know what I mean? You know, a casualty of war, per se.
No, it's very possible. I wouldn't put that out of what potentially could have happened.
Yeah,
But
because
no, it was
that part right there with you feeling the chains and everything, that screams almost abduction to me.
right. I've thought about that, but like I was just like, I don't know for sure, and I don't know how much I'm willing to go through one of those things to actually find out either.
No, I'm with you on that one. I'm interviewing a guy coming up in a couple of weeks who went through regressive, hypnosis, and said he kind of wished he didn't.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So like me with the Yaha encounter, Todd Neese has recommended that I go through regressive to see, what happened. Because like I told you guys on your show, there's a lot of it after that one certain point that I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked with people that were like, "Do you enjoy sleeping? Don't, don't do it."
Like if you sleep fine and there's not a lot of nightmares, then it's not worth doing it. But otherwise, you might want to. But yeah, that's what got me into Roswell. And so when I saw the festival, I was just like, "Oh, we should do that."
That is pretty fascinating that you had that encounter and want to go, and I don't blame you. I've been to Roswell as well. And I think if you haven't been, people, you need to go check out Roswell. Just put it on the check, put a check in a box, say you went to Roswell. Roswell does hold a really, really unique place in our history other than just UFO. But that starts it, though.
Yeah, and Roswell.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to jump in, Keegan.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say Roswell is so like important for us too, like 'cause it just feels like the trajectory of where we were going changed so much. Because that first trip down there, we met a local author. His name's John LeMay, but he works for the Historical Society and writes a ton of really good books. A lot of times it's hard for me to read like UFO books because it's so quick and then it just kind of feels repetitive. But his UFO ones are great, and he has a bunch of other like historical stuff. But it was through him that we started working with like the Billy the Kid Coalition, and yeah, I mean it's just so important. But you were talking Roswell, and like it's more than just the UFOs, because like Billy the Kid happened out there. Pat Garrett's really big out there, and Pat Garrett's the reason we kind of have Smokey the Bear in a way, because he helped found Capitan where they found Smokey. So definitely an important part out there.
I did not know that.
And Roswell and Pat Garrett are connected in a slight way.
In more than a slight way, yeah.
So in a massive way.
Yeah, so that's what I've asked people. I'm like, is Pat Garrett New Mexico's most important person? Because obviously Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, iconic. Like everyone knows that story. Pat kills Billy. Well, Pat
Allegedly.
I definitely think so. I've done a lot with there's like 4 or 5 pretty big ones. Obviously, Brushy Bill's one of the big. Walk Along Smith, John Miller. There's a couple in Colorado.
Well, the Brushy Bill one to me feels more, William H. Bonney. But I haven't done a dive into it.
Oh, I have, unfortunately. Yeah, so he kills Billy. He ends up getting killed maybe by a Brazel. There's a Brazel out there. And like Brazel, his nephew's the one that finds the wreckage in Corona, just outside of New Mexico, well, 45 minutes outside of Roswell. And then, like I said, Pat Garrett also helps found Capitan, which is where they find Smokey Bear. So like all over, New Mexico's big touristy things come from Pat Garrett's touch in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, you can go visit Smokey Bear's grave in Capitan. It's actually a really nice place up in the mountains. So
It is pretty cool.
Because I kind of, I know about Smokey the Bear, but I didn't know the Pat Garrett stuff with it. I mean, that's because, Pat Garrett, you think about it, I mean, this is what we do. We take an outlaw and we, let's see here, put him on a pedestal, elevate him to almost, hero status. And then the guy that takes him down, we turn it into a villain. So Pat Garrett's always had this kind of villainous air about him. So I never really dug in. I enjoy the Young Gun movies and I enjoy the story of Billy the Kid, but I was more of a Wyatt Earp fan, to be honest with you. So, but Billy the Kid to me, it's a fun Old West story, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's awesome on the research. And so, how does Pat Garrett tie in the Roswell?
So he's killed by a Brazel, or at least Brazel is there. And it's Brazel, his nephew, William Ware Mac Brazel, who finds the crash in Corona.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. For some reason, that went way over my head earlier because I was focusing on the Old West stuff there. So, okay, there's a crash. What crash? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh. So when y'all went down to Roswell, were y'all able to go actually to the site or no?
No,
We got as close as you could at that time because it is on private property. But it's a super long drive because, like I said, it's closer to Corona than it is Roswell. So I think it took us a little, like almost an hour. And there's no one else out there. Like, I don't think we saw people till we got to Capitan from Roswell. So like 2-3 hours of driving. But I know at certain,
school with dirt roads.
yeah, and I know certain times though, and I think it's during festivals. Sometimes they'll take people out to where it happened, and they have like a marker and stuff. We just have not been able to get that close, but we were within a mile.
Okay, you got a lot closer than we did. Because there, I was asking people, so how do we get out to the property? And they're like, you can't. It's private property. They're not gonna let you on there. I was like, oh, okay. So can you tell me where it's at? And they wouldn't even tell us where it was at. So you guys got a lot further than I did. So to me, that's awesome.
So there's a book. If you're ever interested and want to see like all the important places, it's called The Ultimate Guide to the Roswell UFO Crash. And it gives you like coordinates. It gives you why it's important to the story. I'd highly recommend it.
So is it considered the Roswell case because they have the military base there and that's where they took the wreckage?
Yeah. Yeah. So he finds the wreckage. He goes into Corona to a place called Wade's Bar, and he's showing people the wreckage and stuff. And they're like, "Well, go talk to the sheriff." Well, the closest sheriff was Roswell, so he either waits a couple days or a week, depending on which story you believe. He goes down, shows them, and then there's the big hoopla. Everyone goes out there. The famous UFO news break goes out. And then immediately the next day it's like retracted. It was a weather balloon,
Yeah.
And but for some reason they flew it out in the plane that dropped, the atomic bomb like right away, which seems odd if it was a weather balloon, but I guess I don't know.
Right. Nope, that specific plane. Like, there's a lot of weird ties to a lot of different things with Roswell.
Yeah, and Roswell's a neat little town. I remember driving into it. And just kind of going, this is kind of cool. We're in Roswell. You know what I mean? So not knowing, UFOs have not been my forte when it comes to this stuff. To where I know just enough to BS my way around the water cooler. You know what I mean? So it's not my, like we jump on Sasquatch. I'll keep you on here for 4 hours. Ghosts, I do the same thing. But with like UFOs, it's and again, it's like I've never had an encounter, so I don't know. But with, what Sam described there, that's, I think it's kind of cool that you saw it. And B, maybe you had like some after effect of it.
I don't doubt that.
And so, you know, since this has happened, have you had any other strange sightings or anything? I know, have you been more attracted to the paranormal or vice versa? You know what I mean?
I mean, I've definitely been more attracted to it. My biggest, the way the paranormal started with me is kind of a sad story, but it's what got me interested when Keegan was just like, hey, we investigate. And I was just like, I want to join you. But my first experience with paranormal and maybe like spirits or the residuals, or if you believe in some spirits coming to say goodbye.
I do believe that part. I do believe that. I do believe that. I think that we are given a little bit of time, not much, but a little bit of time to, make amends or say goodbye or something like that. I do think there's times that we're allowed to do that. Because I had a lady come on and her dog had passed away, and that night as she was laying there all upset, because you know how people are with dogs. I mean, I love my dog's passed. It's going to devastate me, and my wife would be devastated. But it would be, and she said she put her hand out and she felt her dog, and then it was gone.
Odd coincidence with that, because that was mine as well. So,
really?
Our dog, our dog was fairly old, and we lived on a property with 10 acres. Dog was super chill, would stay around the house, but walked up to the road, ended up getting hit by a truck. So I came home to like the blood splatter on the road. It was not that same night, because this was more towards the end of summer, but on one of like the winters that we had, we were up on like the snow, or like it snowed the next day. I don't know. Some time with this one, and it's hard. We were up on our like slope, because we have this like slight, I like say 40. It goes from, I want to say like a 70 to 45 incline a little bit. Okay, 70 might be too much. It's probably around 60. But we were up there sledding, my mom, my sister, and me. And we just like see this, he would used to like run up to us when he like would be let outside, and he would come join us on the hill. And like through the trees, like these tree lines, we just see like this kind of like a spectral image of what we felt was the dog. But like we saw it running towards us, and as it got closer, it just dissipated. And we were kind of all in tears and said goodbye, and we kind of like felt it say goodbye as well. Take that as you will, but I felt like he came back to say goodbye.
I agree.
And that's what kind of got me into it. And yeah, we've had lots of experiences, but that was one that kind of opened it up for me a bit.
No, I agree. I do. Yeah, that sounds like he came by to say goodbye. And generally on these things, I like to say go with your feeling. You know, if it felt right, and if that's what you felt, then that's more likely what it is. And if it feels wrong and you're not supposed to do it, then it's wrong and you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, no, it just felt right. So when they were just like, hey, we're going to go do Lemon Ridge, I was just like, you know what, why not? But yeah, that's why it got me started into all of this. And then my cousin and I would talk about the UFOs and do as much research as we could, which was ancient aliens at the time.
I love ancient aliens.
Yeah, some of those other shows that are at the time, you're just like, wow, this is fascinating. And then you do more research and you're just like, this isn't as accurate as they say it is.
Yeah, like as I said before, entertainment purposes, great. Educational, Yeah, but you got to remember too. This for a lot of these TV shows, they have an hour to cram a whole bunch of stuff into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not even an hour because you got to add in commercials. So you're like 44 minutes. You know, 40 to 44 minutes of what they have to put out of material. That's not a long time. Like, we've been talking for 48 minutes, almost 49. Hang on, 49 minutes. So this would be an episode of those TV shows. Done. Over.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so not a lot you just put out. And that's when they say, tune in next week to find out that really was Ricky the Raccoon behind the log. You know, so it's... But I like Ancient Aliens. They make me laugh. And I will research some stuff, and I'll go, all right, hold on a second. And there's some episodes I can go, all right, plausible. There's some other ones I go, whoa, that's way out of left field.
Yeah, that definitely work.
Yeah. Then again, too, I look at it as entertainment. It's a great. It's it's a good idea. It's a good story. You know, it's fun. It's fun to sit back and go, well, what if there really were aliens here before anything else and we had a big galactic war here? And that's where these sinkholes are. These are where the gun placements were at. That is a great theory. That's fun to kick around and come up with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the episodes that stood out. It's like, in Siberia, they have these places. And I'm like, okay, all right, go on. Siberia. Oh, giant galactic, ballistic cannons. Oh, probably not. I mean, but I love him. You know, in the host, Grego, he's just aliens. That kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I think the episode I have only really seen one episode, and they were like, what if the Colossus of Rhodes was a cyborg? And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I'll be checking out. Like, yeah. You're a fun series to fall asleep to. Yeah. But no, I mean, they do make some pretty good arguments. There's been a couple of good ones. So I've gone, all right, that's plausible. And there's some that I have to go, yeah, that makes no sense. I don't know why that. Yeah, there's no reason why all these, rocks are laser cut and can't even fit a piece of paper into, So, and looking at the technology and everything they had at the time. But that could be a whole other episode right there, but still. But no. So the scariest you've been so far on an investigation is the potential mountain lion or whatever was stalking you in the woods.
Yeah. And I think partially for that too is growing up in like a haunted house. After that, it's just like, well, I survived that, so why should I be more afraid? And we've gone to like we've been to Waverly Hills. I've been to the Stanley, which was a big disappointment. We've been to like some pretty odd ones, like Third Bridge. We've had some really strange experiences at, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you can't leave it at that.
Well, it's just so much. I mean, which story do you want to hear the most, I guess? Just because I know I could go into depth. I mean, if you want all of them, we can.
I'll let you pick one, but I will. So real quick on the Stanley, my 11-year-old is fascinated with haunted hotels. And she really, so her and her little friend, my show did an episode last year about the Stanley. And It was really kind of cool to see, these two 11-year-olds, talking about the Stanley Hotel. And here we have the Crescent Hotel. And it's funny that you mentioned disappointment. The Crescent Hotel here in Arkansas is extremely haunted. And I went there in May with, Todd was nice enough to give me an invite to come and hang out with him. So I went, and I fully expected it to be a bust, and it was not a bust. So, I
think our friend Paul recommended us to go there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the same one. He was like, if you're ever out this way.
Yeah, 2.5 hours away from where I live. Closer to 3.
Yeah. I mean, the Stanley, I will say, super cool history. It's a really pretty looking building. I think a lot of people in their mind, though, picture Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Yep.
So they go there and they're like, oh, it looks nothing like the movie.
Because it's a movie.
Yeah. Mike, well, then go watch the TV one because they actually have the model, one of the models from the TV show down in the basement. And it was super cool. We did our little investigation there. Didn't find anything. I compare that to when I was in New York in probably an early 19th century hotel. And we were walking around, me and my brother and my uncle. We were visiting family, and our cousin Steph was on the floor or two below us. And so we walked down there to say goodnight. And of course, as kids, we're like, oh, we're out late. We're going to get in trouble. And it sounded like that key ring with all those like keys that a janitor or a hotel person would wear, you know?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're getting in trouble. Well, it sounded like it followed us up the 2 steps. And then we're looking out and nothing ever came out. And later that night, like my brother woke up and there's just a bright white light in the room. So I was like, I compare the two and I'm like, and plus like the whole time we were at the Stanley, you'd ask them a question. I'm like, oh, can you tell me a little bit more about this? And they're like, well, you can find more about it in the gift shop. And I was like, I don't like that.
One of those places.
Yeah.
The Crescent was cool because you do have to pay for the ghost tour, but the staff is like real friendly. They have a bar there, and the bartender out the bat, he goes, "Are you here for the ghosts?" I was like, "Well, I'm not here for the spirits." So yeah, he kind of laughed, but no, he told me he's been there for a long time, and he goes, "We don't talk about it. We know it's here. We know it happens, and when stuff does happen, we just kind of blow it off." And he actually, so we talked some more, and he finally opened up, and he goes, "Yeah, I got some pictures." So I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah," and he said, "Yeah, we had like big storm, ice storm came in, so they were kind of iced in at that work pretty much. So the whole staff was just staying there, and he was outside talking to this girl, and she was like, "Oh, so you're at the, the Crescent." Was like, "Yeah." So he sent her 2 pictures on Snapchat that he had screenshotted, and the one picture there's nothing, and the immediate picture after that one you could physically see there's somebody in it. But yeah, I caught an EVP there by accident, and then I saw a full blown apparition that night, about 1:00 in the morning, down there by the front desk, and in my peripheral vision, somebody was walking in the crystal room, and I turned my head and I watched this person step out of view. You know what I mean? It wasn't my peripheral; it was dead on me watching it, and I walked in there, and there was nobody in there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I went, "Yeah, you're haunted."
Yeah. Yeah. When you see and you'll see stuff and then you're like, yeah. And I think once you see stuff too, it's hard to not know it's out there. And I think that kind of opens it up. Plus, I don't know, when we go capture stuff, you want to go capture more. It becomes almost addictive, but you never you can go to the same place back to back nights, and one night be awesome, the next night be terrible.
Oh yeah, it's like fishing.
Yeah. No, but Waverly Hills, if you haven't been there, I highly recommend.
Want to go? It's on my list. It has been for a very long time. What was y'all's experience like there?
So I stopped in there because I was going out to college at Louisville, which is the same place as Waverly Hills. And the first day we went on the normal tour, which was really cool. Their tour, much different. You'd be like, "Where did this happen?" They're like, "Well, just down there. Do you want to go experience it?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I know at one point there's a bend in the building. We went and it's daylight, and there's no windows. So it's, super bright. You can see everything really easy. And I remember my brother calling going down, and he stopped at the corner and turned around. And then next thing you know, you can't see him. The shadows engulfed him, which was weird. And then I went down because they're like, "Who else wants to go?" And of course everyone's like, "No." And I'm like, "I do." I raised my hand so fast. I was like, "Me." And so I went down there, and like you could feel like something was peeking out at you, like further down the hall. But I remember going down in the death tunnel, which is where they like took the bodies out. So like the patients obviously wouldn't get discouraged because so many people were dying. And we were trying to stay in the back just to be the last ones to kind of give it, some space. And so we kept looking back to like make sure. And there's two ladies behind me and my brother. And one time we looked and there was like another face behind them. And then it was just gone. And we're like, all right, let's slow down a little bit more. Yeah, it's wild. We got EVPs and just such a good experience there.
That would be so much fun. I'm not going to lie. So, Sam, what's the scariest place you've been to?
Scariest place that I have been to would probably have to be the investigation at my cousin's house.
Oh. Do you want to share it with us, or?
Which one? The apartment or the house?
The house.
Okay.
Okay, so you say apartment or house. Is it the same person?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have an attachment.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking they do as well. Yeah, because the apartment one is kind of short. I'll explain that one and then the other one because that one was first. But what happened at his apartment is we were going there to investigate. Keegan and I's tradition before investigations is Taco Bell because it hypes us up. And
wait, you said Taco Bell?
Yeah, super healthy.
Oh, sweet. What do you get? It's like drunk food.
Yeah, it is. But
Mexican pizza and tacos.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And this burrito 5-7 layer supreme thing as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, go ahead.
But like we were just super energetic about it, like super excited. Go in there and like the energy is just real heavy. So we go in there, we start to investigate. We set up the camera on his coffee table, and Keegan notices that he's like right in front of the camera, and so he was like kind of in the sitting position and goes to like lay down. And as he goes to lay down in the camera, you see something that has kind of like shoulders on either side and a head. The face is kind of obscured, but it goes from behind him to behind the chair as he's going down. And then I forget if we caught the other one, but no, that's more at the end. But then he ends up like falling asleep on the floor. And
wait, Keegan fell asleep on the floor?
Yeah. He falls
Keegan.
asleep on the floor, and then we get him up to the chair. And then, like, in the camera, you see, like, this orb leave his neck. And as it's doing that, he's just like, I feel better now.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I feel better now. Well, yeah, the orb's gone.
Yeah. But so there is that one. And the story behind it is before he lived there, there was, like, a couple of juggalos that were messing with the Ouija boards again.
Always shows back to the Ouija board.
Stuff. Yep, it kind of full circles.
It does.
But
Well, they made an X on his cousin's door with an axe.
The neighbor did that.
Yeah.
They did
because,
what
like,
with an
obviously,
axe?
He made like an X, like he carved an X into his door.
Oh, nice neighborhood.
Yeah, well, the neighbor would like hold like knives out of his door, and he was just like, "You keep it down over there." And he was like just coming home from school.
Wonder if there's activity going on while he was gone.
No, absolutely.
I bet there was, yeah.
Nah, guaranteed. But the house one is the one that was like more scarier. Because he was like, I'm having weird things. Like I would hear like these like 3 knocks. And then it would like pause and then do more 3 knocks. And so we went to go investigate. And it was like a decent sized group. This was when we were kind of tightening down to the current group, the ones that stayed the longest. But we were going in there, and he was just telling us stories of like when his brother used to live there. His the room to check out was like his roommate Chris's room, which is kind of like a secondary living room for him. It's like a 3-bedroom kind of place. And so he said, his brother said he'd watched like a shadow out of the peripheral of his eyes come out from that room and then go downstairs. But then his roommate would come home and he was just like, wait, didn't you just go downstairs? And so we were just like, okay, well, we have a room to like check out. So Alan, Keegan, and Alan's brother, whose name's escaped me right now.
Adam,
that's it. Adam were in that room, and they like, before they went in there, they're like, feel this room, and it was like walking into a
Like
wall of static electricity.
Yeah, it was like going into a pool. Is how it felt.
Wow.
It would like make all your hairs like stand up, like they were being electrified and all that. But I was standing out in the living room outside of that door. My cousin was like outside sitting at a table. I had my arms crossed in front of me in like a butterfly pattern. Like if you're going to make a shadow or a puppet butterfly in a light.
Yeah.
That comes into play later. That's why I had to explain that.
Okay.
But they were just asking questions in this room. Our buddy Cookies and his girlfriend at the time were in his like the room, the hallway in between that and the laundry room. So like the room in between the laundry room and the master bedroom. They were in there recording into the room. And they were like asking questions, and they were starting to try to like provoke it and ask like more questions. Just be like, you wanted us to come in here, why aren't you talking? Or like, what do you want here? Or like, what's happening? They were like demanding answers, and then I just see my cousin's head like dip down, and then he just starts making like clicking noises and like moving it back to back, and it was just like, and then like he like comes through and was just like, well, I'm here. I thought we were friends. And then like jumps up, pulls everybody out into the living room, and is just like, stop recording. Everyone quit recording. And like he comes up to me in my hand position and he's just like, stop recording. And I was just like, hey, I have nothing. Like I released my hand grips. I'm like, I don't have anything. And then we just like sat on the couch in dead silence for what felt like 20 to 30 minutes.
It felt longer than that.
I mean, it was a long time. But then like eventually we were able to leave, and we're just like, that was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because we asked us to like leave. And then they left the EVP going, but the EVP was like completely wiped. Like we had stuff from other investigations. There was nothing on it. It was completely wiped.
We had a same problem up in our in our investigation area. They did some trail cams that we had set up that were clean. Were completely shot. We couldn't use the SD cards on them. They were fried.
Isn't that frustrating when it happens? Because you're like, I bet you we caught the best evidence.
Exactly. Oh yeah, we had some great spots too picked out. That is scary. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to bring in for a landing, you guys. So before though, all right. So we're talking about cool places we've gone to, Roswell, UFOs, possible abduction over there on Sam's side. So if there's one place you could go investigate, where is it and why?
All right.
That's a tough one.
So I would do Mount Everest
Oh, okay.
because have always been into, like, obviously we live in Colorado, so hiking's super big, but so there's George Mallory and Sandy Irving, who may or may not have been the first, like, Westerners to get to the very top, but they never made it back down. But they've never found the Kodak camera, and apparently Kodak says if they find it, due to the weather, they might be able to develop it and see if there is pictures from the top. So I'd love to go up there and try to ghost hunt to see if we could find it.
That would be fun.
Mhm.
That would be fun. Sam, what about you?
For me, I'm trying to think. I've always had a fascination with the Stonehenge.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know you're not allowed to get close, and we have a contact that could potentially get us close.
We
to,
do,
like,
yeah.
butt up against it and like film there. But like I've always had a thing with that, and people are like, "No, you feel nothing there," and it's just like, yeah, but how much do you tap into that? But
Well,
like,
I
it's
think you
always
have to
kind of
want to.
drawn me there.
You know, for a lot of these energies and stuff like that's out there, I think you have to want to. I
True.
think we've allowed, technology to shut us off. As I was talking on your show, we're 3 generations of history. That's it. So 3 generations ago, they would be freaking out over what we can do technology wise, but they were more in tune with nature and what goes on around them than what we are today.
Yeah.
So Stonehenge, I like that one. I like Stonehenge.
Yeah.
And Mount
I heard
Everest,
that
man.
in
See,
watching.
I would go to Mount Everest. You can climb it. I'll hang out in Kathmandu and wait for you to get back. How's that sound?
Hey, it would still be a fun time.
Yeah, Kathmandu would be.
Right.
I think Kathmandu would be fun to go to.
See,
Oh, yeah.
another fun thing I think would be go down to, like, South America, because there's lots of cryptids, but I really want to go swim with an anaconda, and I think that would be fun. But also, like, there's stories of, like, ground sloths still being alive, and even though I think the chances are super low of actually finding them, I was like, that'd be kind of fun to do,
That would be fun to do. Now, I like the jungle. I'm a fan. Yeah, I think that South America, there's a lot of beauty down there. I mean, the terrain is just diverse. So I would love to. I'd be on board for that trip. Mine would be Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sam's talked about Antarctica a lot.
Mine would be Antarctica because I want to put I want to put to bed the flat Earth theory, and I've been on 5 out of 7 continents, so I have 2 left. That's Australia and Antarctica. And hey, they're right close to each other, so why not? Jump on one, then jump over to the next one.
True.
Well, hey, we could go to Australia and New Zealand and Papua New Guinea to go look for the thylacines. That'd be fun.
I would definitely be all about going to look for the thylacines. I would. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Well, guys, so before we wrap this up real quick, though, so tell everybody where to find you guys at.
Yeah, so you can find us on pretty much any of the social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, under Culz. So that's CULZ, Paranormal Studios, or Studio on, I think, YouTube. We just changed it because we do a lot of different things. Paranormal we do, but I kind of describe it like a TV channel. So there's a little something for everyone. I had one comment that said, I came because it said paranormal, but I stayed because you did dinosaurs. So
That's awesome.
yeah. Have we tried to mix the two? Possibly. Have we gone ghost hunting for dinosaurs? Maybe. To no luck, but
I don't know. There was probably a wild animal for sure.
yeah, definitely a wild animal. Look, we have been on Travel Channel once, but it comes loosely, and it doesn't have the best of our story. So if you want to read more about that, we do appear in Erica Gammon, 4 of her books. as well as she helped start our biography because she reached out and asked if we wanted to. And so I've been struggling trying to write about myself because I'm terrible at it. But yeah, at some point that will be out too.
How awesome is that? I'm with you on that one. When I have to do a bio about myself, I can't do it. I feel like I'm bragging.
Yeah, I don't like doing it either.
So,
Right? Like I did a big paper for the Billy the Kid Historical Coalition, and it was so much easier. It was about just research. We found a missing grave. Billy the Kid's brother's grave was missing for 94 years. And just writing all the research steps and all the research was so much easier. I was like, I would love to do this because it's just so much fun. I can't write about myself. It's hard.
yeah, see, I'm with you. I tip my hat to you because there's, I've had, a couple of buddies of mine have told me that I should write a book based upon my military experience. And I was like, no. And now everybody's like going, you should do one for about the cryptids of paranormal. I'm like, no, I don't even know where to start. And it'd just be like going, and there I was. See, I can't even do it with a straight face.
Right. Yeah, no, it's tough. But hey, we appreciate the invite. It's been fun. We'll definitely have to do more stuff because this is a fun show. I really like what you got going on.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And I was hoping you would offer to want to do more shows. I didn't want to be, that guy going, so put you on the spot on the air. And then you feel, man, we said yes to him on the air. We look like assholes if we don't do it. So thank you for offering.
If anyone's already watched ours, they know we talked about doing, that Parable movie with Eric Estrada and a chupacabra. So
yes, we're gonna have to do. Yes, I'm all about that.
My god, I remember that movie.
Yeah, but
I've never heard of.
Okay,
so on your show you mentioned it. So mention it. Okay, it's the Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
Yeah,
so
starring Eric Estrada.
Yeah, possibly straight out of Chips. I don't know.
Okay, hold
but
on
yeah,
a second.
at some point too.
Hold on.
I think
I'm looking that up. Hold on.
Okay.
Chupacabra. Hang on a second. Versus. Oh my God! It's a 2013 film.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Hey, it's on Tubi.
Yeah, it's free.
Hold on. Here we go. Overview. Here's the overview from what Google says. I love Google. Here we go. The legendary Mexican monsters cross the border into Texas in search of human prey. As they go on a killing spree through San Antonio, a small number of unlikely heroes make a desperate stand against the creatures, which I'm going to assume is going to be at the Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean and everything in the Alamo still works.
Oh my good Lord. Eric Estrada. He's a DEA agent in the film. Let's see here. Who else is in this one? Nobody. I'm surprised I wasn't. I mean, I would do a movie with Eric Estrada. That'd be hilarious. Be walking around going, Estrada. I mean,
Right.
It's not even rated. Okay, let's look at some of the images real quick. Yeah, because it looks bad. It looks great.
I think the chupacabra is like part amoeba because it just like splits apart into two. I mean, it doesn't actually split apart, but like they just start multiplying out of nowhere. I'm like, where did they come from? Yeah.
It's the chupacabra.
But yeah, I think it would be fun to do some like investigations together, or like we got to have you come down to Roswell during the festival. Like it's such a fun time.
Yeah, it's a full day drive for me, but yeah, I'd be down for that. I do know. So like right now, I'm working on. Well, I'll be heading up to the Y'all's area next summer, on the other side of the Rockies. But I have to go through there, just north of you. But so I'm looking at, so this year I got to go do in November. I mean, I've already talked about it, and I'm going to be at the conferences in October. I'm going to the Sally House in September, which is in a couple of weeks, with the Trouble with the Spirits crew. They invited me to come up and investigate. They've been there quite a bit, and they want to get my take, which is awesome. And I'm grateful for the invite. They're celebrating 16,000 on their show. So I'm really excited for them. And then I'm supposed to be going to the LBL in early spring of next year. And then I'm supposed to be doing a town hall meeting. Well, like I'm letting it out on the air right now. A town hall meeting on early spring as well here in Arkansas, and with an investigation overnight, stuff like that. And then we're aiming for the Uintas summer next year.
Okay, yeah.
There, I
Sounds
just
like
gave him a
good
whole
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah, for us, I mean, right now I know in September we're down in Lincoln, New Mexico with the coalition.
See, that would be fun.
Yeah, no, it's a great time. I love the group. They're a bunch of great guys, and we go down with them and they mark historical locations and we do research, and we're working on a big project right now. At some point, I will tell people. But yeah, after that, I know we're gonna do something with The Shining because we've been teasing it for years on our channel.
You might as well. I mean, you're there.
Right.
You know,
I think it's not as alluring because I've been there. It's right in our own backyard, you know.
well, that's the funny part because, like, I have Falk. You know, everybody knows, Falk Monster in the movies and everything. And so everybody asked me, are you going to do an episode? I was like, no, it's been done a lot. You know, and whatever was down there 60, 70 years ago is no longer there. So, and now they're like, well, there's more sightings. But real quick, so I know I was going to bring it for Lenny, but the history thing was really cool. I have really two good friends of mine, Travis and Tony. And Tony does reenactments. They dress up. They do the whole thing. Really into this stuff. And my buddy Travis, he is so into history. And he's world history, Civil War history. I mean, we'll sit around and have conversations, and he is so smart. It's where he can just be like going, oh, well, yeah, in 1879, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm going, how did you know that? So, and I love history. So he's actually been on, he's done 2 episodes with me where he's a retired Little Rock law enforcement officer now. And he, I call it the investigator's perspective on certain cryptids and stuff like that, and want to get his take on it. And he's a believer in this stuff, but he's also, I want it in my hands so I can tell you that, yes, it's real. If that makes sense. Yeah, he's one of those guys. So, but real quick, tell everybody again where to find you guys at.
So
you guys are
social
awesome.
media. Oh, thank you. No, you're awesome. I'm glad we were able to connect. And yeah, so any social media, Culz Paranormal Studios, or in Roswell during the festival, like I said, or just around. We travel a lot, so I'm sure you guys can see us somewhere. But thank you so much again for inviting us on, and Oswald's joining our show. Like, it's just been a great time.
It's been a blast. It has absolutely been a blast. You guys, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for reaching out to me on Facebook. I'm not going to lie. I was like going, wow, big fish talking to the little fish. What's up, guys? How are you? So, I mean, you guys are nailing it. You're doing great. Whatever you're doing, don't stop. I'll tell you that right now. You guys are killing it. So, but yes, I do think we need to link up some more in the future. I do see some, future investigations and some collaborations and more episodes together.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think we just gel really good together, I think.
I agree. I can't wait to do more. All right, well, don't hang up. Let me wrap this party up, and I'll talk to you guys as I step outside here in a second. So, everybody, thank you again for listening to another episode of the Drunkencryptids. Do me a favor. We're going to have they're going to have in the show notes, have all the links for the show. Go where to find them at. Go check them out on Facebook. Go check them out on YouTube. They're a lot of fun. They're just like us. They just want to get to the bottom of it. They've had some encounters that happened to them. They want to know, and they have questions, just like everybody else does. So we're all on the same journey. So let's all make sure we're paddling in the same direction. We'll get there a lot quicker. Until next time, y'all keep on squatching.